It's time to talk about racism as two black women who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enjoy.
Hi, Chanel.
Hi, Cindy.
So, we're talking about something really serious today.
Very serious.
Very serious.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in our season of We Hate Isms, we're going to talk today about racism.
Yay!
Which we obviously know nothing about.
Nothing.
Never dealt with it a day in my life.
I don't know what, all these people that experience racism, I've never even heard that. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Never faced it one day in your life?
No.
No one's ever, driven past you when you're walking, yelling the N-word out at you?
No.
Yeah. Me either.
I was the person in the car.
Where are you now? Okay. So when I was walking home one day, I saw Chanel sticking her head out and she started yelling the N-word at me. Isn't that crazy? We almost didn't make it.
We almost didn't make it.
We almost didn't make it. But yeah, no, kind of like what we were talking about in our last episode. I feel like with this conversation and the last one, they're all going to compile together because the isms, like we said, it could be a whole course. It's like they're all interconnected.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about specifically racism.
Ooh.
I feel like we should also talk about reverse racism.
Which doesn't exist.
It does not exist, but we might as well talk about it because it's popping up everywhere. I feel like social media today is very racially charged, or not even today. I feel like it's always everything
This
that we do.
This country has been racially charged since
From its
before it was a
inception.
country, yeah.
It's from its inception.
You can't escape from it.
No. Which, I don't know. I feel like people try to pretend that it's not.
Yeah.
Again,
Why are you talking about it? If you don't talk about it, then it doesn't exist.
Isn't that the same thing that you said when it comes to finances? Like, you can't not talk about things.
You have to.
You have to. Because
It's going to fester.
It's going to fester, and then it'll wring its head in a worse manner than it.
But if you just addressed it in the first place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my experiences with racism, because I feel like every single person, especially a black person, or not black person, but every person of color.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying black person because we're both black, has a period where they realize they're different from everybody else. And one of the biggest things for me growing up, which is I think you can consider as more of microaggressive, was when it came to swimming. So I was born and raised in Arizona, had my natural hair out one day, wanted to go swimming. I don't think I really had my hair out. I think I just had braids. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go swimming. And I got questions like, why does your hair do that in the water? And I'm like, what, get wet? And they're like, no, it's someone blonde. It's like, why doesn't it turn green?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just your hair maintains its shape when you're in the water. How does it do that? Mm-hmm. And it was a thing of curiosity is one thing. But then when all these other kids start coming around and say, you're different, you start to realize you're different. Mm-hmm. But it's not just being different. That's a case of racism, because when it's all a bunch of white kids pointing at the one black kid being like, you're different.
Then. Mm-hmm. And then it goes from you're different to...
you're Chanel being in the car yelling at the N-word.
All of your people are different.
Yeah. And then, Chanel being in the car yelling the N-word out as I walk by.
It happens to everyone. Yeah. We all have to go through that stage where we're extremely racist.
Yeah, to one another.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially to black people. You have to, to get through that. Mm-hmm. And then you have a normal life.
Yeah.
With no consequences.
So is your life normal with no consequences?
Yeah. After yelling the... we gotta stop.
Okay. We literally beat our jokes into the ground.
Because it's fun.
It is so funny. But yeah, what are your experiences? You don't have to say personally, but just in general.
Yeah. So I grew up also in the suburbs. Mm-hmm. It's a rough life out here for a black girl.
A black girl.
In the suburbs. With lots of white people. Luckily for me, my suburb was more diverse than yours. Mm-hmm. We had Hispanic people, we had Asian people.
Yeah.
So it was more diverse, but no black people.
No black people.
Me, maybe 5 other people kicking it.
Not including your family members?
Not including family members.
See, for me, if we didn't include my family members, there was one black woman outside of my family in my neighborhood. We were referred to as that one black family down the street.
Yikes.
That was what, when I was in high school, I joined marching band. So a lot of the people in my marching band was like in my neighborhood. And they're like, oh my God, you're like one black family down the road.
Yeah, the blacks.
There's also a period where like kids from my school egged my house and then the other house with the black lady in it. Yikes. Just our two houses. And then the police tried to convince my father that it wasn't an act of racism.
Yikes.
Even though it was just our house and the other house that was getting egged.
What a coinky dink. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, anyway, continue. I stole your shine.
So, you know, I feel like there was just like, racism doesn't make sense.
No.
Let's just start there. Does not make sense because why am I in 5th grade, 4th grade, and some random kids saying, oh, Chanel, you came out burnt. That's crazy. Like, what? Where do these kids get this?
Their parents.
Where do they get it?
It all stems from racism, you know, but that's crazy.
That's crazy.
You came out burnt.
Yeah.
You know, a lady.
God burnt you.
God burnt you.
God, you came out burnt, and God burnt you, so that's why. And I'm sitting there like, I know I'm 10, but this doesn't seem right.
Now you look it up.
I said, God, what's going on, man?
Why'd you burn me? You came out burnt is absolutely wild.
It doesn't make any sense. And you just have to like absorb that because you're like
10.
You're 10 and you're like, that doesn't make sense. But I get what?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So fun. Mm-hmm. And then let's see, there was somebody who was my friend and I trusted her when I was like also like 8. But she was like, she had a little Etch-a-Sketch, Etch-a-Sketch in her lunch. I'm like, oh, can I play with your Etch-a-Sketch? No, you can't play with it because you're black. What? That doesn't make sense.
I thought you were going to be like, you can't play with it because you're dirty. I thought she was going to say something like that.
No, just because I'm black. And I'm like, huh? And then I went home and told my mom and she was like, who said that?
Knowing your mom, she brought the cavalry to school.
You know.
She brought the cavalry to school.
Yeah, she had to have a long conversation with the other mom. And you know that other mom was probably horrified, so.
Oh, I would thought she probably didn't care.
I hope she was horrified.
Because here's the thing. Like, when you're a child, it's just learned behavior. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So she's, the person who was your friend, either heard it from home or saw it in the household. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yep. Because typically when you're 8 to 10, you don't really go anywhere outside of school without your parents.
True.
Or if you have...
We're laughing because Cindy's dad is calling her.
I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
It's still recording. We're fine.
Okay. Sorry, Father. I'll call you after.
We'll think about it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That was crazy. Yeah. So it's like, it's learned behavior. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like kids, I don't know. Like, that's a thing that I'm like trying to come to terms with because I'm like, kind of like how I learned in a sense that I was black and racism was a thing was from absorbing content. Mm-hmm. And like, because at times when you experience things, you just assume that's what everybody's going through until you start learning and seeing that it's not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. And you only learn that from absorbing outside content. So I truly believe that mother was horrified because she got caught.
Drama. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those were like weird elementary school vibes, I guess. And then when you get a little bit older, things get more strategic.
Oh, yeah.
So we love that. But I feel like in high school, oh my God, you see memories, they just come back and you're like,
Woo.
Jesus. So, you know, I am a proponent of let's not read books with the N-word in school. Mm-hmm. Let's just not do that because one, most of you teachers are white and you don't have the range. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
So I was in my lovely English class and we were reading probably, I don't remember, Huckleberry Finn, something like that. N-words. We have a lot of those in novels written by white people.
I also had to read Huckleberry Finn in school.
Yeah, everybody does, apparently.
Interesting.
But yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of N-words in that book. And so the teacher was like, I'm going to be reading the book as is. We need to understand that this is a very serious word, but that's how they used to speak back in the day. And it was whatever, their long spiel. And I'm in class like,
looking left and right, seeing nobody else looking left and right.
Exactly. Yeah. And one girl goes, there's no black people in here, so like, why would we care? Whatever. And and my friend was like, oh, Chanel's here. And then they were like, oh, and then somebody else was like, oh, but Chanel's an Oreo, so
don't even get me started.
Oreo, no!
That I think is something that all black people, if they grew up in suburbia,
Oreo,
they got, is that you're black on the outside, white on the inside. Yep. Because media made black people look like they were supposed to be thugs and thieves. No black person could be educated.
Yeah,
always
there's
slinging
only one
drugs,
type of
only one archetype of black person. So if you don't fall into that archetype because you go to school, you're educated,
you talk white.
You
sound white.
You sound white, yeah.
Then why are you acting white?
You're an Oreo when it's like, no, I'm still black.
Yeah. And you let me know I'm black every day.
But even still, I'm still black. Like, I never understood the concept of like, what aspects of me makes me white? Because it's like, I don't eat white people food. Like, I mean, you know, in the sense of I've never had a casserole. Like a white people casserole. I use seasonings. The Jell-O.
What are they call it a salad.
Yeah.
And it's got Jell-O in it.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? It's like
we have culture.
Yes. We have culture. And so it's like at that point, I don't understand what aspect of me is white. Because if you start talking to me about white people things, I no longer relate. Because I'm not white. So what about me is black on the outside?
And they would never treat you as white.
Never.
But they want to go ha ha he he.
Yeah. Oh, you're not truly black. So we can say the N-word in class. Because you're not really black.
Yeah.
I digress.
I know black.
Stop. I digress. I wanted to also talk about like, so we experience racism, or we have experienced racism. We still experience racism, but it's very interesting how like people will try to claim that things aren't racially charged. So for example, when I got to college, I was told that the only reason why I got into school was because of affirmative action. And do you remember that whole thing that happened around the time of us going to school where people were contesting against affirmative action because they believed that they didn't get into schools because of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And then
because of the black kids in school.
Specifically the black kids in school. But then when it came out, the data showed that one, all the black kids who came in were way overqualified, for one. Any person that got into the school was way overqualified. And then affirmative action actually benefited, I think it was Asian Americans and white women more than anybody else when it came to.
And then a lot of those spots were actually being taken by legacy students, which are most of the time white rich people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing that's so interesting. Like affirmative action was made because there was a disparity being seen where black people were solely not, or people of color. I don't know if it was just black people, so I don't want to misspeak, but people of color were not getting into schools. And there was a concern that it was because of the fact that it's like you have to put on an application, I am black. Even though they claim they don't look at that stuff on applications, they look at that stuff. So every single school had to have a certain percentage of each demographic, and that's what kind of dictated affirmative action. So it's just kind of interesting on how that was put in place to kind of help people of color, but then when you look at it, it's not really doing what it's said to be done.
Yeah.
Yet black people are still being put at the expense of it.
Yeah. And for example, I know in California that's been gone for a very long time.
I'm pretty sure it's gone in a lot of places.
It's been gone in like, I don't know if it's everywhere, but affirmative action, like you just described with percentages, has been gone.
Yeah.
Been gone. Dead and gone.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, maybe we should do the right thing and just look at candidates and be like, which one's better than the other? But if you have two identical candidates and one of them is from a background that you don't have in your company or school, why don't you go with the one that will add some more diversity to your company, add some more diversity, DEI, to your company or organization?
Yeah.
And, you know, they've done studies where they're like, the more diversity you have, the better outcomes you have for your company and for your schools and all that stuff, because it breeds different backgrounds. We have, even just you and me, because you have a Nigerian background, I have a Black American background. We already have the things we talk about.
Yeah.
Like
the perspectives that we have. Because
Yeah.
if we both had the exact same, like if I was your next door neighbor
Yeah.
and we grew up together, we still could have slightly different backgrounds because we have different parents. And like, even from siblings, I'm the eldest child, you're the middle child. You know what I mean? So like some perspectives could be slightly different, but we talk the exact same.
Yeah.
There'd be no conversations to be had.
Yeah.
Because it would literally be like, oh, I believe da-da-da. And I'm like, exactly.
Exactly.
Versus sometimes you say something, I'm like, girl, I don't know. I
You're
don't
like,
think...
what? And
Yeah.
then you be saying some stuff and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then we have a whole
Conversation.
dissertation.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's how things work. And I feel like some companies don't hold true to that. Even today, like I still believe that it's kind of like, I think we had the conversation in our capitalism podcast where it's like, or maybe not that one, but it's like who you know type of thing. And I feel like that kind of, it's like the idea of it's a boys club.
Yeah.
The legacy students, like I feel like that even extends out into like industry when you think of like frat sororities or things like that. It's the people that you know, and people are more inclined to pull people who think and act like them because of that connection, and that kind of hinders a location, you know?
Yep. Just people bringing nepotism vibes.
Nepotism vibes. The other ism.
Yeah. The other ism.
Yes. So what else? I mean, I also, whenever I think about racism, I think about how it hinders not only in like the job market, but also the housing market. But what you got?
Just what you just said with how racism hinders things. It literally, racism costs everybody in this country, in the world. It costs all of us so much money. And not just money, but like life satisfaction. Because there are a good amount of white people out there that would rather us suffer than to have all of us have a great life. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so the example I always think of is the fact that white people would really pour bleach into their pools, cement them over, literally get rid of all pools, all community pools altogether, just so black people wouldn't be able to swim with them. Now there's no pools. You know what I mean? You could just go to the private pool. If you could afford a private pool, you're good.
Yeah.
If not, you're done. And so it's like, y'all would really burn down your house if it meant that a black person was going to get a home as well.
No, it's actually very interesting also. I'm very uncomfortable.
Awesome.
Yeah. My feet.
Your feet.
Yes.
No free feet. You have socks on.
I do have socks on, so that's why I rearranged. But yeah, I think even back to like the Jim Crow era, like that stuff, how, again, it's just like it's a power dynamic, power strategy, because let's just say everybody was wearing a full costume, like head to toe, completely covered. You can't see face, hands, whatever. You could have a mix of people in a room and you'd be perfectly fine, you know, but yet there was a law stated where it's like, we can't drink from the same fountain. We can't use the same restroom.
You guys are unclean, but cook my food, bathe my children. Huh?
And then now we're finding out that people of color are the ones that bathe themselves the most thoroughly out of anybody.
Oh my God. The amount of white people who are admitting they don't wash their legs.
The amount of TikToks that I've seen where people are like, I was in my late 20s. I was in my early 30s when I finally learned how to bathe myself. And I'm like, you're in your late 20s and early 30s, meaning that you've gone 20 to 30 years
without washing your legs.
That epidemic, when that came out, what was it? Taylor Swift and the self tanner on her legs.
Oh, wow.
And Ellen DeGeneres was like, how do you get this to stay on so like dark when you bathe? And she was just like, I think that's how it came about, that she didn't wash her legs.
Yikes.
And I had conversations with people where they're like, yeah, I mean, the soap from the top of my body, like, wash.
It just trickles down.
And I'm,
get up here. It trickles down. It trickles down.
But it's like the soap, that's dirty soap at that point. By the time it trickles down, it's full of dirt.
And even then, you gotta like
rub it in.
And then even, they don't even use washcloths.
That to me, when
at least a loofah.
When I first experienced that, so I wasn't really allowed to go to sleepovers. I wasn't allowed to be sleeping over at people's houses. And the only time that I was able to do it was I was in high school. And it was because we had like a marching band thing. So it was like, oh, she can spend the night here so that because we're closer to school, and we can take Cindy so that she can get on the bus early in the morning to go to this marching band thing. And so I was at my friend's house. She's white. And I'm like going to go take a shower. And I'm like, she had soap and everything for me. And I was like, hey, do you have a sponge? And she was like, sponge? And I was like, do you have like something that you use to like wipe the soap on your body? And she's like, you use your hand. And I'm like,
you gotta scrub.
I was like, my hand is not gonna get me clean. Like, I need something to like, you know, spread the soap on my body. And she goes, I just use my hand. And so I bathed with my hands. And I was like, I felt unsatisfied.
Unclean.
I felt really weird. I'm even like rubbing my arm now. I'm just like, the thought of it.
I need to scrub.
And that's when I'm like, just things like that. And just think a lot of people just don't know because they were never taught.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people outside who just...
And you know, it kind of reminds me of like English culture, where like the rich people would just do things that were like counterintuitive to prove that they were like of a higher status. So like, for example, we can afford the highest class of meats, so we don't need to season our meat. Seasoning is for poor people. You know what I mean?
Hey, my first thought was oxtails too.
Yeah.
Oxtail being that part of the meat that they threw away and now it's delicate. Yeah. See, that's the other thing that I find so interesting when it comes to racism is the fact that we will get like, not ostracized, but like, I guess penalized in a sense for having our big lips, having wider hips, you know, for our vernacular, the way we eat, we make food, things that we eat, everything, but then it's on trend. So it's like women get lip fillers, women get butt implants, women will like oxtail.
Darken their skin,
self-tanning. They will take things that were for poor people and make them a delicacy and price them out where people who generationally grew up on this can no longer afford to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
It also makes me think of the fact that back in the day, it was great to be super pale.
Yeah.
Because if you were super rich, you'd be inside all the time.
Yep.
But nowadays, everybody's inside all the time. And if you go on vacation, then you have a tan and you look higher status.
Yep.
And so it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Nonsense. And then, you know what I saw? I saw this video and I was like, my brain chemistry is changing because they were saying, like, why do all these celebrities get buccal fat removal? And
the high cheekbones, right?
Yeah, the high cheekbones. But they were like, they kept going with it. And I was like, so this is what they said. The reason why that aesthetic of high cheekbones, like no fat in your face is desirable is because it is the same look that people who are starving have.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, you know, when they're finding models, they go to like foreign countries where there's conflict and find starving children. And then they take those starving children, turn them into models. But, you know, a lot of models and other people are used as sex slaves because they like that, like, prepubescent, skinny,
I did not know that.
Look. Crazy. And so the reason why that aesthetic is so in is because who are the people using sex slaves? Super rich people. And so a lot of these celebrities want to appeal to that look that's in, which is dictated by a bunch of rich, creepy men. And so, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these aesthetics and things that people strive towards are disgusting.
That's terrifying.
That's terrifying. And where everybody's like, yeah, cheekbones. Yes. Like, and it all comes from that. Like, that's wrong.
It is wrong. Oh my God, my mind has been blown.
I was watching that, like, that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
So I'm like, why does that, like, aesthetically appealing? Because you look younger if you have more, like, fat in your face. But no, they said it's because you look like you're starving. And they equate that with sex slaves and, you know, being so malnourished that you can be taken advantage of.
How is that appealing?
To a rich man with money who wants to do whatever he wants with young girls, that's why it's appealing.
See, but here's the thing though. If that's the premise behind it, why are so many people so adamantly chasing after that? You know what? You see what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, especially because I'm going to say with my whole chest, people who are not not melanated, they look old already. They're already aging incredibly poorly.
Yikes.
Right? So why are you going and getting surgeries done that's going to make you look even older?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, we still look at people of color as a set standard of like, oh my gosh, did you see this picture of this black lady? Guess her age. Oh, I don't know. Is she what, like 35? She's in her 70s. That's the thing that people want. At least that's what I think. I feel like that's what would be desirable. Not, oh my gosh, how old is she? I would give her 60 something. Oh no, she's 25.
I feel like it's the yo-yo effect.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we had the Kim Kardashian era, which was everybody trying to be a black woman, right? And so that was like big everything but skinny waist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So big these, big that, big these, you know, big, but also super skinny. You're still skinty. Now they're trying to go back to white, which we had in the 2000s. Child. I want to look like a starving Victorian child. And so that's why I think the buccal fat removal and everything's coming back. People are removing their BBLs. People are getting on the GLP-1s, whatever they're called. Yeah. Getting skinty. Yeah. Because I know black.
You're crazy. Well, yeah, okay. I mean, I can understand that. And again, I feel like that's also deep in what?
Oh, I was going to say also there's a different standard for rich people versus everybody else. They try to not be like everybody else.
Oh, is that the issue?
I think so. So once a bunch of people get the buckle and they try to get super duper skinny, they're going to change the
that makes
what's
sense.
Trending again.
Make it so it's like seems like it's unattainable.
It's supposed to be unattainable. Yeah.
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 I lost my train of thought.
That's fine. We're out here on a tangent.
We are out here
riding the waves. Woo!
That's literally how every episode is. Let's just riding the wave. And I feel like with my ADHD, there's too many stimulants that are going on for me right now.
Your cat's like doing backflips.
He's doing backflips. My father has called me. We're talking about, you literally blew my mind with this buccal fat removal.
Blew my mind.
I'm just so curious how like so many like, who sits down and makes these decisions? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there has to be like, again, that group of power, that like 1% who sit down and are like, this is what we want. This is what we decided.
Yeah.
Like maybe one person is like, they got a wife, they got a partner that looks exactly like this. Like, this is the standard. Everybody must look like my wife. And then it just kind of trickles down.
Get up here. It trickles down.
I don't know that song.
Down. You know the Emma Stone meme? Get up here.
Let's dance. Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do know that. But I didn't understand the trickle down edition.
Trickle down.
Yeah. Down. What else about racism can we talk about?
You know, there's a lot.
It's just too many things.
It's way too many, and it makes me sad. But yeah, there's a bunch of different avenues. Let me just list things and you decide where you want to go. So we could talk about how expensive racism is. We could talk about that. We could talk about how white supremacy is like a global phenomenon. Why if we go to China, y'all are still racist? Like, there's no black people there.
Well, I think
why are you guys still racist?
Let's go there then, because I feel like that's the other ism, colonialism. Because a lot of, if not majority of the countries in the world had they have a period in the inception of their country, the foundation of their country, where it was a white nation that had sovereignty over them, or still have sovereignty over them, right? And they led that precedence of like, if your proximity to whiteness improves your life, so the wider that you are, the better that you are. And I feel like that set a foundation that has continued on over years and years and years and years. And the issue is when you think about like skin tone color, is black not the darkest color you can get? So black people will forever be at the bottom of the totem pole because our skin tone is the darkest that you could potentially get.
And it's like, y'all just set that up because you wanted to set it up. Like, literally, it's really crazy to me. And I always think, this is random, I always think, what if the bubonic plague never happened? Because I just feel like, and we're getting on a tangent here. This is my conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories with Chanel.
Okay.
So, in the bubonic plague, like 2/3 of Europe died or something like that. Like a crazy
amount of them.
I feel like all the good people died. Because why after that? We had like the Middle Ages. What are they called? Dark Ages? Whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We had the Dark Ages. All of them are traumatized. All the people left over are definitely traumatized.
Yeah.
You look to your right, you look to your left, both of those hoes died. And it's just you.
Yeah.
So they're all traumatized. And they're probably just continuing to traumatize each other.
Yeah.
Especially with some of those torture techniques.
Yeah.
That they were using in the Middle Ages, whatever.
Yeah. So the thing is, this is another tangent for your tangent. There's a TikTok of a black woman. I don't know if you've seen it, where it's like they have people bring stuff in for potlucks, and have you seen her?
I think, and she rates each one.
Yeah, and then she talks about a lot of the torture mechanisms.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I never looked into any of them. Like the Pairs of Anguish, Judas Cradle. I thought she was just saying nonsense. No. And someone was like, don't look into what those are. Don't look at what those are. Those are actually, and I'm like, over food? Yeah. But I need to look into
She really be sentencing them to death. Some of them are justified. She's
like, there was one of them was like, what was like, the food looks burnt, but you tried, so just the guillotine. I said, just the guillotine.
Guillotine.
Exactly. But yeah, so to your point with the bubonic plague in the Dark Ages, you said that they came up with all of these torture mechanisms.
Yeah, torture mechanisms. And I just feel like they traumatize themselves so much. And then additionally, we have a system where some random person is chosen by God and they're better than us just because they're born into a certain family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we set up racism right there. The casteism, caste
system.
Who you were born into is the life you lived.
Yeah.
If your father was a tailor, you're a tailor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If your father was a serf, you're a serf. Mm-hmm. That's the foundation of racism.
I feel like though it's still a power dynamic situation, if that makes sense. Like, yes, at that point, like the classism, that's just a power struggle. But like that's the foundation is like class structure created racism, but the reason why class structure was made was power.
Yep.
Which is the same reason why we had capitalism.
Yep.
Power.
Isms.
It's just so interesting. It's like people just want power.
Yeah. Oh, and this reminds me of Octavia Butler.
Okay.
Shout out to my girl, Octavia E. Butler.
May she rest in power.
May she rest in power.
Yeah.
And rest. You better be resting,
I hope she is. She's probably kicking her feet smiling at the fact that she predicted the future.
She predicted the whole future. If you have not read her, read her. I don't know what you're waiting for. But that one book we read where the aliens, what is it called? Lilith's Brood.
Yeah, the Xenogenesis.
Yeah, thank you. Xenogenesis series.
Yeah.
When she said that humans have, well, the alien said, the author wrote it, but the alien was basically like, the reason why we took over your planet is because you guys have a fatal flaw. Mm-hmm. And it's the fact, I think it was like hierarchical. I think that's what they said. Yeah, that is our flaw. Why are we so obsessed with like power? And I don't think it was every culture though. I feel like it wasn't every culture. Obviously, I'm not an anthropologist. But, like, for example, I feel like in certain societies, like, for example, Native Americans, they didn't own the land. You know what I mean? Like, there was no ownership over land. You just kind of, I don't know what the situation was, but, like, nobody was like, this is my piece of land. You come on here, I'm going to kill you. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? And then, like, it just feels like there were other options for the way that society could be. And then England and whoever else, all the white people, basically just steamrolled everyone. And they were like, this is the way it's going to be.
I wonder, what is it, Patriots? What are the people who are called, this is going to show I don't know history that well. But the people who left England and came to the U.S., right? What were they called?
Yeah. Protestants? No. Pilgrims. But they were religious, crazy people.
But I think the issue was kind of where that started with the power dynamic is the reason why they left is because they felt as though they were being squandered in England. They felt as though their voices weren't being heard, so they wanted to go to a land where they felt their voice was being heard. So they already felt as though they were
entitled.
They were entitled to something.
Yes.
And then when they got to a land that they thought they found on their own and found that people were already living there, they're like, oh, but these people, they don't have as many resources as we. They're not as intelligent. They don't have any they're not as technologically advanced. So we're going to just take them over.
Yep.
Despite the fact that if it wasn't for the generosity of the Native Americans, they wouldn't have lasted the winter.
And people are crazy. They justify it. Oh, your skin's darker, and so that's the reason. God, baby Jesus, who is a white baby, pure boy, even though he's from the Middle East, pure white. He told us we can have this land.
Yeah.
Huh?
And again, it's claiming power. And I feel like, again, because they felt like they didn't have any power, they wanted to come have power. And then they were in a position where they're like, oh, we could take power from them. And then that's the foundation of what the country was built off of. Was we want power, give us power.
Yep. Disgusting. And then, it's a mess. Truly is a mess. But yeah, did we even talk about the topic that we were supposed to talk about there?
We did a little bit in the beginning.
Okay.
Oh, in there?
Oh, wait. What was the...
Well, so the reason why we were talking about it was because racism and power are equal.
Yes.
The reason why there is racism is because there is a want for power. And that's kind of how we got onto it. Because I think the foundation of this country was on a power struggle. They want to have power. They want to be in control.
Yep.
And they left an area where they felt like they didn't have any power, which was England, and then Europe in general, which had that classism, which led to racism. So we were on topic. We were just kind of working down a tangent on the concept of power and how it founded the United States of America. And that's how it led to racism, because the Pilgrims felt they were more so powerful than the Native Americans.
Easiest
that they
way
could
to
take them
justify
over.
it. You look different from me.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's just like the struggles that we have. I honestly don't even believe there's a way that we could get to a world where racism is not a deciding factor for things.
You see, I'm always hopeful. I think there is a way, but it would have to take
so
a lot.
What do you think? How? Because I don't see it.
I think the root would have to be, things would have to get so bad that people have no choice but to let go of their racism. And it would have to be like, for that to happen, yeah, it's going to have to be something ridiculous.
Exactly. And I personally don't think something like that is coming.
I hope not. Because that's going to be bad for everybody.
Exactly. So it's like racism is here to stay then? You just have to work and navigate it?
See, we just hope it gets a little bit better. We just hope progress.
See, the thing is, the way that it gets better, unfortunately, is if you're able to wiggle your way. And I'm saying like you being like people of color, wiggle your way into their system. You know what I mean? Like how we said capitalism, the more education you have, the better suited you'll be in capitalism. The same thing, it goes for racism. I was told when I was interning in college, there was one guy, they were talking about doing DEI initiatives at work. At the time they were voting, discussing it. I don't remember if it was like they wanted to have like some representative for it, or if they were just going to like increase more like hiring of diverse talent. But the guy, he sat right next to me. I thought he was a buddy. Like he was a technician that always, kind of like your friend, who always helped me out. And he was just like, I don't think we need any more Black people here.
Wow.
He said it directly to me. And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes and he looked at me. He's like, oh, I hope you don't know. I hope you don't think I'm talking about you.
You are talking about me.
You're one of the good ones. You're not included.
I'm one of the good ones. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. And I don't remember exactly the point that I was trying to make with respect to racism, but it's just the fact that it's like sometimes it can be like, like getting into certain situations is kind of where I was trying to go. It's like, even though technically he was talking about me, he didn't think he was talking about me, if that makes sense.
No offense.
Yeah. But I also feel like that's the issue where it comes to the power struggle. Because I think something that we can pivot to when it comes to racism is how responsible are people of color in teaching non-people of color racism. Yeah. During the George Floyd era, I remember I had a friend. She was a white woman, or she is. She's not dead. I just don't talk to her anymore. I guess she's technically dead to me.
Yeah.
And she wanted to start a book club where she wanted us to talk about read more like Black authors and read on topics that were more focused on like the Black struggle. And she called me one night and she was just like, I want to ask you if there's any time that I made you feel uncomfortable. Many of times, but this is such a random call to try to answer. And she's like, please let me know whenever I'm being racist, please correct me. Like, I'm open to correction. I'm like, weird. I don't really want to do that. And then we're in this book club. I recommended the Children of Blood and Bone series, and nobody in the group liked it. They thought it was childish. And then they wanted to read a book about a Black man being incarcerated, wrongly accused, incarcerated, and then his struggles with like being in jail. And I said, I don't want to read that because that makes me uncomfortable. Like I know the experience. Like I know of the experience. You know what I mean? And the book club effectively stopped because they said that they weren't going to continue unless I participated. And then when I expressed that it made me uncomfortable, I was essentially told to suck it up.
Yeah.
That it was an opportunity for everybody else to learn what I already knew. And that I needed to be there to be able to help.
You see, I don't know. Well, I might know. White people love to watch Black struggle.
Not even just Black struggle in general, because we talked about like murder podcasts and stuff.
White women love murder podcasts.
And like I won't even like generally, because I used to be somebody who used to absorb that information. I used to listen to like My Favorite Murder, and then I think her name is Rotten Mango, and I for a while thought it was a way to educate me on like some signs. You know what I mean? It was just like, these are different scenarios where women found themselves in these places, or these were signs that this person was attributing. So I was like, okay, so now I know if like I see somebody who, like a child or a person who seems very keen on like killing animals, like at a very young age, at least I thought I was educating myself. But in the scheme of things, it was just trauma porn. There's not really much you can get educated on when like every single experience is different.
Yeah.
Because in essence, it's like, there could be signs that someone is creepy, but you might just leave it at that they're creepy. You know what I mean? And then if you try to find reasons as to what could have happened, you're essentially victim blaming, because you're saying like, oh, because she didn't notice that this guy tried to kiss her 5 times when she said no, that's the reason why she got killed.
Yeah.
You know? So like it took me a while, because I used to listen to it to just kind of buy the time, that I was like, no, this is actually people's. Also, it feels, because it's dramatized, you don't realize it's people's lives. And then at one point I'm like,
entertainment turns into entertainment. And that's where we have problems.
Yes. But you were talking about it with respect to Black people before I cut you off.
I don't remember what I was saying.
I don't remember what you were saying either.
Black people.
But you were just saying that people like to watch Black people suffer.
Oh, they like to watch Black people suffer. That's why, 12 Years a Slave,
Harriet Tubman.
You know what I mean? Like all of those movies. Somehow they find money for those types of movies. But if we just want to watch 2 Black people fall in love, where's the budget? They ran out of the room. Where'd they go?
The struggle. Oh my gosh. And also like Black TV shows as well. Like, the issue is, when it comes to television, you can't have a television show centered around Black people without talking about the Black struggle.
Yeah.
Like, it's always there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I go back and forth with my thoughts on it, because I'm like, you would want a show to be realistic, especially if it's like taking place in present time.
Yeah.
If you had like a Black person who was going to school, doing well, and never faced racism, it wouldn't seem realistic.
Yep.
But I feel like sometimes shows will make it an entire story arc in an entire season where it's getting beaten like a dead horse. And I'm just like, I know this already.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not necessarily their target audience. But at the same time, how many times does a non-Black person have to watch a Black person struggle to be able to understand that Black people go and deal with a lot?
Yeah.
And actually care about it.
Yeah. The vibes.
I don't know. It's so interesting how like entertainment and modern media focuses so much on like the power struggle and just struggle in general. It's like, do you believe that's a good thing? Like, do you think people should be able to escape through their entertainment? Or is it better that the fact that, they go into depth into some of these situations that people are dealing with on the day to day?
I think everything in moderation, because I think I have an issue with it when the only Black movies and shows that are allowed to be like highbrow and, actually funded and all that stuff have to include slavery, rape, like violence, gang violence. How many TV shows do we need about a black man slinging drugs in Compton? You know what I mean?
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
American Fiction.
Yeah.
That was literally the whole premise of the movie, where he tried to write a book that had meaning, that was well thought out, put together, and nobody really gave him the time of day. But the moment that he wrote the most stereotypically black book you could find, it was world renowned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what I have a problem with. I think it's important to show those things because we want to, show these things that actually happened and like say things through our art to, talk about those times. But why is that the only thing we're doing?
Yeah.
And why is that the only thing these white people are coming to the theaters to watch? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's suspicious. It's suspicious.
It seems like it's giving that they actually enjoy watching.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with, like you said, George Floyd and all of these people, Sandra Bland, all of these people who have been murdered by the police, and we're just putting their videos and everything up on the internet, on the news, and people are watching black people die like it's a normal thing.
Yep.
And like how violence against black people is just normalized.
Yeah.
Like to the highest degree.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with somebody about it because I was kind of like, I don't want to necessarily say callous, but I had no emotion towards it. Mm-hmm. And when a lot of people who are non-black were coming up to me being like, I remember like my advisor being like, are you okay? Da 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 da. And I told people, I'm like, this is just another year.
It's Tuesday.
It's just another Tuesday.
Even before we were born, like we heard about Rodney King. Like this is not new.
Yeah. And I remember some being like, no, this is like change. And like, around this time, I don't remember who posted it, but somebody posted it where it was a Times article talking about racism, where it was literally like they just kept crossing out the year. Every single year that a black person died in such a grotesque way that got captured on, like just captured in general, where there was conversations about it. It was like everybody was in a frenzy, and then people forgot, and it happened again. People were in a frenzy, made news, people forgot. It's the same thing that we're going now in present day. George Floyd, it's been about almost 5 years. What is it? How many years? 4 years, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I just remember that his birthday, October 14th, has just passed. Mm-hmm. And I believe he would have turned 52 years old. But it was one of those things where everybody was in arms, and yet black people are being lynched.
To the day.
And people are still trying to claim that it's it can't be the case.
No way.
And so that's the reason why I'm unmoved, because the issue is everybody is in a frenzy about it now because it's in their face, but people have short attention spans. That's the reason why cancel culture is not a thing.
Yeah.
Because somebody will be canceled for that period, but they'll disappear. There will always be a group of people that will stay. They probably will lose a lot. Like, let's just say if they had over 1 million followers, they probably lose about 300,000. But you still have 700,000. You rebrand, and some people will come back after you apologize, and you build off of that new brand.
Yep.
And it's like it's just a tiny little smudge on your history. Mm-hmm. And so that's the reason why it's like I don't want to be callous about the situation, but until kind of like what you're saying is like something tragic needs to happen, and that tragic thing hasn't happened yet to get everybody on board that things need to change.
Yeah, because like I said, somebody will burn their own house down to make sure you don't have a house.
Yes.
When you both could have had houses.
Yep. But bringing it back to the question that I asked before, I don't think you answered it.
Oh, what's the question?
The question on how do you believe that it's the responsibility of people of color to teach other people about racism?
No. Mm-hmm. And that's a big issue because a lot of white people look towards black people to fix racism.
Yeah.
It's not our thing.
Yes.
You guys created this crap.
And they'll make you feel bad about it. Yeah. Because they believe that since it deals with you, you should be the one that's the most knowledgeable. But because you're the one who's dealing with it, you're the one who you can't fix something because you're not the one who's perpetrating the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like during George Floyd at Rice, there was a period where all the presidents of the graduate student organizations, each department was writing letters about how it is important to have diverse faculty and diverse talent. And at the time, I believe I was the only black woman in my entire department. No, I believe. I know for a fact I'm the only black woman in my entire department. Graduate, undergrad. I just can't say for certain I was the only black person, graduate and undergrad at the time. And I was the president. My vice president came up to me to ask me to write this letter. I said, I don't think it should be my responsibility to write this letter. If anybody else on the board thinks it's important, that's a letter that should be written. I went to my board, I asked. Nobody raised their hand. I ended up doing all the work. I asked my board to sign it, and majority of my board didn't sign it. Only for them to text me later being like, I wanted to sign it. I really did, Cindy. I don't want you to think I'm racist. I gave them a 2-week period. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then at that point, they're like, oh, but black people should be the ones who are teaching about racism. I'm like, but we're not the problem.
Yeah.
We're not being microaggressive against ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're not hindering ourselves from getting certain opportunities. We're not, unlike Chanel, we're not going into cars and yelling out,
I'm just special, yeah?
You know what I mean, though? Like, we are not the problem, which is why you can't be looking to us to fix it. But I think the issue is the only reason why they're looking to us to fix it is because they know that we can't fix it.
They know we can't.
But they want to make it seem as though they care enough to get it done.
Yeah. And they want you to do the work, even though it's for no reason.
Because if people of color, or black people in this case, get the same equality that white people do, they will no longer be considered special. They will no longer have the power, and they want to continue to be special. They want to continue to have that power. Mm-hmm.
Must be nice. They fight hard for whiteness. Mm-hmm. They fight hard for that right. Mm-hmm. It must be nice.
I guess. I'll never. But here's the thing. Never will I ever want to wake up as anybody but a black woman.
Yeah.
I said that 10 tones down. Regardless of everything that I grew up going with, all the microaggressions about the hair, microaggressions about the way that I act, being told that the only reason why I'm there is because of affirmative action and that I don't actually deserve it. All the fact that all the internships and jobs that I got was because, they just needed to fill that black space. I will forever be a black person because the culture that we have, the food that we have, the experiences that we have, the fact we can speak with just looking at each other. These are just things that I wouldn't want to change for the world.
The 92%.
92%.
Because if y'all just let us run this country, I think this so hard. Literally, give the world to black women, this place would be amazing.
Yes.
Literally, every leadership position, give it to a black woman. We'll have this whole thing figured out in 10 years. Everything would be perfect. If not less.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that.
Never.
Because they don't want things to work.
They don't want things to work. No.
It's easier to find power in chaos when people are running around. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine it's like, let's just say we're doing an Easter egg hunt. Mm-hmm. And we're told if we find 10 Easter eggs in a place, we will get a certain prize. Mm-hmm. There could easily be money in the middle, but because our focus is on finding those Easter eggs, we will not realize that money is worth so much more to us than these damn eggs. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how the country is running. Everybody else is running, looking for Easter eggs, when somebody else is in the center being like,
collecting their money, stealing money out of your pockets while you're searching.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I feel like that's kind of how racism is as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more so we're pointing fingers at each other of like, you should do something. There's a lack of unity in the space on how things should be corrected. And there's people on the outside who are like, let's let them continue to fight amongst themselves, and we'll continue to make the world a place that they can't live in.
And it is crazy that the fact that they use whiteness as that Easter egg. Mm-hmm.
Attaining whiteness.
Attaining whiteness is that Easter egg.
When you can never attain it.
It's like, whiteness. Look at that. And I'm telling you, someone will be in abject poverty, struggling. Everything's wrong. And they would gladly stay there because they still have their whiteness.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because even if let's just say you are able to attain that whiteness is not going to be, I guess, not visualized, but like accepted by every other white person.
Yep.
It's like, I'm white. Okay. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. Go to the back. Oh, no. Mark. You know Mark? Yeah. He said I'm white.
Let me in the club, please.
I don't know who Mark is. Get to the back. Mm-hmm. No, but like Mark. And at that point, it's like you did all of that. You stumbled on so many people just to not even be able to get into the room because your whiteness is attached to somebody else that's white. Mm-hmm. And as soon as that white person is out of the room, you're back to where you started.
Yep. And we're over here like, hey, you could join our club and we can...
Well, at this point, you can't join our club anymore because you stepped on all of us to get
That's
up
the
there.
part. That's the part. Because Black people, we said we're done.
See, but like, it's not even from like a vindictive perspective. It's just that because we know you're capable of doing it once, what's going to stop you from doing it again when the opportunity presents itself again?
Yeah.
Because if that's what you desperately want, you're going to keep going and working for it. We're not pawns in order to help get you to a period that's going to, or a point that's going to hurt us at the end. Mm-hmm. So we just close our doors. Yeah. And then I guess as well, like with the Black woman's perspective, we've already done so much to try to help.
Oh my
if you're
God.
not going to listen.
Can we talk about the civil rights movement? Jesus Christ. And you still have people out here trying to... You have people who are not white. They're literally Asian people out here getting rid of affirmative action, like you said. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at them and they're looking back at us. And we're looking at them like, girl, Ho, is you okay?
And then didn't a report come out that the percentage of Asian Americans accepted into schools dropped?
It dropped.
Then everything else was about the same.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on?
What happened?
And then Black people, the same percentage of Black people are getting into schools as they were before, just shrugging their shoulders like, we try to tell you.
Girl. And there's barely any of us in these schools anyways.
To begin with. That's the thing that's so interesting. It's like you're fighting for like one spot.
Literally one spot.
Thousands of you are fighting for one spot.
Like, bro, every school, we're probably like 5% of the population, if that, unless it's an HBCU. Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
Exactly.
You know, it's hard out here for a pimp.
It's a hard knock life.
It's a hard knock life for us. But we're going to keep minding our business.
Yes.
Minding the business that pays us at this point, because...
All we got to do is pay taxes and die.
That's it. Stay Black. Pay taxes.
Stay Black is the asterisk, the big one.
Yeah.
Stay Black, pay taxes, and die.
Period. Mm-hmm. Well, it was lovely speaking with you, Cindy.
You too, Chanel.
Bye. Is someone knocking on my door? Hello? Open the door. Open the door. I'm filming a podcast right now. Goodbye.
Hi.
You want to say hi to the podcast?
No, thank you.
Okay, bye.